I'm a bit interested actually in your journey back to eating red meat, because I think a lot of people would be like, whoa, okay, I thought that was bad, or
Yeah, it's a
that
big
sort of thing.
thing.
There's a lot of misconceptions, and I think there's a bit of a fear of asking people about it as well, in case there's a bit of judgment around there. So I'm just
Oh,
going
I've
to
had
jump
so
straight
much
in and
judgment.
say, tell me about your journey with that, because that's super interesting.
Yeah, I did have a lot of judgment when I started eating red meat again. As a nutritionist, I am constantly looking at emerging research, keeping up with, different journal articles, what the research is telling us. RCTs as well, randomized control studies, really, really important. And like I said, for so long, I truly believed that a plant-based diet was not just healthier, but, and it is environmentally, it has an impact, animal welfare, and all these reasons were really important to me and still are. I still eat a heavily plant-based diet. However, I've had 2 babies in pretty much 3 years. I've been either pregnant or breastfeeding for the last 4.5 years. And that is a lot on the body. And I was feeling, my littlest is now just coming up to 18 months, and they're both kind of sleeping a lot better now. But for so long, they weren't both sleeping. I was so tired. I was working pretty much a full-time job whilst trying to be a mum full-time, do all the things, the washing, the cleaning, walk my dog, meal prep, make sure everyone's eating well. And I was getting sick like literally every 6 to 8 weeks, which is so unlike me. I have never been that ill person ever in my life. I think I maybe had 2 sickness bugs up until the age that I had kids at 28. And then I've had 6 sickness bugs, 6, that is, since my 18-month-old was born. So in 18 months, I've had six sickness bugs. And I was like, this, like something is going, like, I just can't do this. So I really started to like strip my entire routine back. I completely like stopped the workouts I was doing. I took it completely back to basics, started upping my protein intake. And I realized how difficult it was when you're being conscious of your protein intake to do it on a plant-based diet. My personal goal was to reach around 80 grams of protein a day, which is quite a lot. And doing that on a plant-based diet, I was like, I'm literally just going to be shoving like beans and lentils and chickpeas in me like all day long. And interestingly, I was starting to really crave meat, which is so strange because it's literally been 10 years since I've eaten it. But I did grow up eating like steak. So I was like, that's so weird. And after a few weeks, I was like, I'm actually just going to listen to my body and have a piece of steak and see how it goes down. And I am very fussy, and it has to be like organic grass-fed steak. I do think there is a problem with the amount of like factory farming and ultra-processed meats that we have access to, but that's a different conversation. So I had a delicious, good quality piece of steak, and I just like the first bite, I was like, this feels so right. Like it's, I'm not going back now. But following that, a few weeks later, I actually had a full body health check, and it came back that my iron levels were really, really low. So that was kind of, I feel like that's just so, intuitive of my body to be like, I really felt like I was craving that steak, and obviously it's a very good source of iron, and it's theoretically a more bioavailable source of iron as well, meaning the body absorbs it better than those from plant-based sources. So does that answer your question? I feel like I just waffled on then.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I just love that your body was kind of giving you these cravings. This, okay, I need some meat. This is where I'm going to get my protein from, and
Yeah.
up my iron levels. And then you do, because you could have gone to specialist after specialist and done all of these, and you did research it because you didn't want to go into it blindly, and that's obviously the field of work that you're interested in.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting that you identified that, and you're like, hold on, should I just try it and see?
Yeah. Exactly.
Behold, here we
And
are.
actually, I raised both my boys plant-based, and my eldest, who's 3.5 now, he is still plant-based. We've actually given him the option to eat meat, and he said he doesn't want to at the moment. But at 18 months old with my littlest, I've just introduced red meat into his diet as well, and he seems to really like it. Whereas I was so set on like, my children have to be plant-based because I'm plant-based and I believe it's the healthiest diet, but actually it's taught me to just be a little bit more flexible. And the reason I wanted to raise them plant-based, actually, one of the main reasons was because when I grew up, I thought meat was the only source of protein. And I wanted them to have that foundation of plant-based foods that come with like the fiber and the added micronutrients as well, so that they didn't just grow up thinking meat was their only protein. They were very aware that, beans, tofu, nuts, seeds, chickpeas, quinoa, like all these things can be really like a great addition to our diet as well. So I feel like I've achieved that, and now I'm just gonna, because my husband eats meat, and he, you know, they're two boys, and he's very much like, you know, we want them to grow up big and strong. And he was very much like, I will let you lead at the beginning, because obviously I was the one like weaning them, I'm the nutritionist. But over the summer he was like, I would really like to start introducing meat to the boys' diet. So I feel like he respected my wishes. So I need to be a bit more flexible as well.